All right, folks, it is Thursday night. Believe it or not, it's December the 3rd. They're telling me maybe it's the 3rd. It is the 3rd. We're going to call it the 3rd. And guys, listen, it comes around every Thursday night. It is time to you to have the questions, and we're going to have some answers for you tonight. Folks, listen, it is already in the Midwest, Northeast. You guys are on the backside of the peak of the rut. Not to be turned off by that, you can come south, because in the Southeast, take Alabama where I live, heck, gun season just opened 2 weeks ago. So stay tuned, folks. We're going to kick this thing off in just a second. It is December the 3rd. It is time to talk about hunting the rut, and we'll be back in just one moment.
You don't like old milk. Deer don't like old urine. Brown and cloudy urine reeks of ammonia. Ammoniated urine means it's old, not fresh, and it doesn't fool deer. Top Secret Deer Scents, the only scent on the market that's oxygen-free from collection to bottle. It's yellow and clear because it's fresh. It's the only scent on the market that says a deer is here now and not last week.
All right, folks, really and truly, it is December the 3rd. This year is getting past us quick. Season is wide open everywhere in North America. And folks, all of you that are sitting there, and we're well into the heat of the season, but we want to remind you tonight that in this process, that we want to remind you can join the 1/10 of 1% Club. Of course, you're listening to Hunting the Rut Hotline tonight, and one of our sponsors, our main sponsor, is Top Secret's 1/10 of 1% Club. And folks, tonight you can join, and as you'll see on the screen there, you have the opportunity to win a hunt. You'll be able to come in January and hunt with myself, Steve, and Mike, and be able to come down here and hunt one of them big Alabama bucks. When everybody else is through hunting up there in the north, you have a chance to win it and come down here in Alabama, in the Black Belt region of Alabama, and be able to kill yourself a big buck. We certainly can have you, I guarantee you're going to have a big time. The hunt will be January the 15th through the 17th, and that's this January now. So it's coming up. And the way that you win this is that all you have to do is to join the club. Now, we want to remind all of our existing club members that because you're already a club member, you've got your name in the hat. So here's the thing. It is Christmas time. Tell Mama to get you a bottle. Join the club for 2016. You can get it now. You still got plenty of time. And for every bottle you buy, if you're an existing member and you have a bottle of estrus, you got a name in the hat. If you buy a bottle of buck, you get 2 names in the hat. So folks, this is going to be a great time. It's for all current members and all existing members who join all the way between now and January the 2nd. All the way between now and January the 2nd. And the hunt will be announced live on air January the 7th. So folks, listen, you got plenty of time. Get on the phone, tell everybody, hey, tell Mama you want to join the club and be a 1/10 of 1% club member and have an opportunity to come go hunting with Steve, Mike, and myself. I guarantee you'll have a big old time. Folks, look, it is that time of year. Even though you guys up in the Midwest and Northeast, you're really kind of thinking, gee, we're on the back heel of this thing. You already got between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you're thinking it's kind of over. It's not, because most hunters, they hunt for the peak of the rut. Keep in mind, pre-peak and post. Yes, you're up there in the Midwest. You are, if this is the mountain, you're the mountain, you're on the peak part of the rut. You can hunt the back side of it. You still got a lot of good hunting to happen between now and the end of the season. Doesn't matter if you're in the Midwest or if you're in the Northeast. There's still a lot of good hunting to happen, and you still want to use estrus all the way through. You can use buck urine all the way through the rest of the year, and you're going to want to grunt. You're going to use the same tactic that you use. So don't sit there thinking, oh, woe is me, holidays, hunting. You still got a chance to kill them big bucks. It's going to be cold up there where you are. Hunt on the south side of those ridges where those deer begin to start yarding up, bedding up, and they'll start bunching up, and you'll have a chance to kill you, still have a chance to kill you a big old buck. Go where those does have already came into estrus or didn't come into estrus, and it's going to come back into estrus, so you still got plenty of time. So, of course, down here in the south, dude, we're just kicking it off down here in the south. All over in the southeast, of course, not Mississippi, but South Carolina, they've been in season since August the 15th, and those rascals won't go out to February. Now, here in Alabama, where I hunt, our season come in October the 15th, and we end, Alabama's divided into two regions. I'm in the northern region, even though I'm in the southern part of the northern region, about the center part of the state. Even there, we get to go to February the 15th. But season ended for the next 2 weeks. So what they've done is they simply take 2 weeks out of December and stuck it on the first part of February, which is great with us because that puts us dead smack in to, oddly enough, as hard as it is to believe, it puts us in Alabama dead smack in the middle of the peak of the rut. Even though everywhere else in the Midwest and Northeast, the first 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago you were in the peak of the rut, we won't be into it the latter part of January, first part of February. Okay, let's see, guys. We're going to kick off some stuff here. We got a caller on the phone. All right, let's see who we got. All righty, we got Don Bell. Who we talking to?
Bill Mills from Ohio.
All right, Bill. What part of Ohio are you from, man?
I'm around Otway.
North.
Otway is in southern Ohio.
You're from Southern Ohio?
Yes, sir.
How far are you from Buffalo County?
That'd be up north there. I'm in Sauter County. I'm right on the Ohio River.
You know what? I did a seminar, mercy me, what is it now? Doggone it, guys. Right there on the Ohio line there in Michigan. No, wait a minute, that was northern. Too many places. Well, listen, what kind of question you got for us tonight?
Actually, I used your product there.
All righty, yeah.
Yeah, and shot that great old big buck I've been chasing for about 5 years out here.
When I got that, listen, that's the kind of we like right there. And now,
it was 5 years ago. My daughter bought that product. She said it was from a fella from Alabama. She sent it to me for my birthday. I used that all season, and it came in real nice. And I shot me a big buck that year, and then I lost the bottle. Didn't remember the name of it.
Really?
Yep, so I dug, and then finally this year, I was going through some of my old hunting stuff, going to hand it down to some people, and there was a bottle. Instantly got online and ordered it.
There you go. Did you just order this?
Yeah, this year was the first time I've been able to order it back because I couldn't remember the name of the bottle.
Well, now, of course, you can get the product.
Pack.
Yeah, you can get the product around the country at, national retailers, people like Cabela's and stuff. You can get it at those places or your local dealer. But, man, we're glad that you did it. And this buck now, have you been hunting this buck?
Yes, sir. I get pictures of him every year in early October, right before season. Right dead in front of my camera at the mineral locations. We got several mineral lokes over the hills here, and that would be the last picture you'd get of him until late January, and then I started finding his shed antlers.
Yeah, he'd go nocturnal on you, wouldn't he?
Yeah. And he was an old deer then too.
Well, yeah. Then he, as good as he was, then he's on the back side of that. If he was.
Yeah, he was a real old deer. He had a messed up front leg there, where he'd been fighting.
You got.
His neck was all cut up. So.
We've got it on the screen here. I don't know if you can see it, but everybody is looking, and that is a nice buck. Had he always been a non-typical like that?
Yes. I've got his shed antlers for a couple times where I'd go out mushroom hunting, and they would always be around within 50 yards of the mineral location where he'd always drop them off at. So I'd know he'd made it every year,
Well, let me tell you something. We had, if you listen to the show, we do this 52 weeks a year, every Thursday night. So we're talking about what deer are doing this time of year, that week, anywhere in America. And one of the things you're going to happen.
Like I said, I bought that product and went to the barn that morning. And I don't recommend anybody do this now.
I was about to.
Don't put that stuff on you.
Now listen, now folks, listen to what he's telling you, because
Don't put that on you, because I'm telling you, I done it before. I put it on my feet and walked around. But this time I used a little extra, and I had it dripping off of me. So I walked around. I headed around the hill, and it's about 800-yard walk. And Time I got around the hill, I just tied the old muzzle loader up to the string, getting ready to climb the stand, and I'll be doggone, he had his head down coming right at me.
How about that? Were you using buck urine or estrus?
I used the estrus on me, and then I took the bad boy buck,
Yep.
and put it on the drag, about a 5-foot drag line behind me.
What was his ears? His head was down. What was his ears doing?
They was kind of laid back, and,
Yeah.
and the hair was standing up on his back.
Yeah, and the reason I ask that is, you tell me what his ears are doing. That's telling me which one he's reacting to. Well, actually, he was probably coming to the estrus, but when he smelled the buck urine, that's like coming home smelling Old Spice. Just like a horse.
He wasn't happy now.
No.
I just had enough time to reach over and grab the gun.
And listen.
Because he was coming at me.
Yeah,
He was going down.
Absolutely. The most aggressive deer that I've ever been around, and we shot him in Buffalo County, not Buffalo County, Wisconsin. We shot him in Hocking County, Ohio, which is, just south of Columbus there. And, great hunting. I mean, turkey and deer.
Yeah,
And, that old boy, he was so mad. He had it, if you ride horses, anybody rides horses, they know how a horse, and I had a big old quarter horse. He'd come up against another horse, and he'd lay them ears back, and I'd have to pop him between the ears, make him perk them back up, because he's fixing to get cocky out, He'd go to sidestepping. And so that buck's the same way. Them ears went back, that hair is stand up, he'll tuck his tail, and they'll appear stiff leg coming in. Literally stiff leg coming into you, and they'll kind of cant sideways. So all that and listen, folks, listen to what he's telling you.
Yeah,
He's telling you, don't put it on you.
You can use your drag lines and everything, but
That's right.
If you ain't hunting close to your stands now, like I said, I got a big loop because I'm kind of crippled up. I can't walk straight up the hill. I got to walk around.
Well,
so that's what I did. I walked around the hill and crossed all the deer trails, to my stand. And like I said, I just got to the stand, tied my muzzle loader up, and took off my backpack and was fixing to climb it up, and I heard something coming, looked over, and there he was, just coming at me. And then
how close was it when you shot him?
40 yards. I wasn't letting him get any closer. Once he stopped and his hair started standing up on his back,
now think about that a second. What time of day was it?
7 o'clock in the morning.
All right. Think about that now. A buck's coming in 40 yards, he can see you. And the fact that he could see you, when did he start bristling?
About, I heard him coming in and making noise. I heard him grunt down over the hill, a real long grunt.
Did he do a grunt snort?
That long before. It was real long, and then next thing I know, I turned around, that buck was right behind me.
Did he do what's called a grunt snort wheeze, which is
He made like a
yeah, that's it. That's a grunt snort wheeze. You got a couple quick grunts and then elongated exhale. And what that is, that's the most aggressive sound a whitetail will make. And chances are what he did is he came across that other buck in his bedroom area, in his area. It's like coming home smelling Old Spice cologne. And when you flip the light on, dude, you don't talk, right? You're just reacting. Well, that's what he did.
Now, see, the day before that, I took my drag line out there, and Sunday evening, I went out and checked all my cameras, and took my drag line and started at the edge of the bedding zone where we don't even go in that for nothing up there on the hill, and then because it's an 80-acre clear cut.
Yep.
And we don't go in there for nothing. And I started right there. I put the bucks in on the drag line, and then I took off walking around, past my stand, and then on past the mineral locations, and picked up my cameras. And then come on back, and then, like I said, I did the estrus that very next morning. I got to the barn because that's where I keep all that stuff at, and put it on right there and just took off from the barn.
Did you grunt at all, or you didn't even have time to grunt? Had you even gotten a tree?
I was getting everything ready. I put my grunt call around my neck, getting ready to climb up the stand and everything, because I always leave my backpack and everything on the ground right there.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous once I seen he was coming in and was mad. I was shaking a little bit there. You know, because I know he mean business. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to shoot him right now.
Yeah, listen, people think that's you're kidding. I mean, look.
I'm not kidding. That's
No, I know it.
And
And you know, and I know some of them boys out there is watching this tonight. They're thinking, I want that sucker. I didn't say something bad. I want that sucker to come attack me. I'll shoot him. No, you don't.
no, you really don't.
Uh-uh.
Because they can sneak right up.
I'm
on
telling
me.
you,
He snuck right up on me.
when he's that mad, when they lock in, that's the reason at 40 yards, that's the reason I asked what his ears was doing when he seen you. And then that made me ask what grunt, snort, wheeze, because see, even though he could see at 40 yards, he don't care that image, it's what he's smelling. He's done by that point, he's done got it worked up. He's past, he's past talking.
I watched the hair go right up on his back. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he stood right there and got all
Yes, sir.
real stiff
Yep,
looking, and
yep.
hair went straight up on his back.
Yep.
And
If you could have seen his tail would have been bristled tucked under. I mean, yeah, it's a whole posture act. And that grunt, snort, wheeze, though, dude, that's the most aggressive sign. Very few people get to hear that.
yeah, well, I got to hear it, and it was
You got to
hair standing up on the back of your neck now.
you got to hear it and experience it, didn't you? Well, let me ask you this: Have you
I've
told
heard that out there in the woods. You know, like I said, we.
have you told anybody about this?
Yeah, I told all my friends. You know, and I told them all. You know, you better get on Portland Outdoors and get you some of this stuff because.
Listen, they can get it at their local dealer. If the dealer ain't got it, tell
I
them.
been up there that carries it. I've looked everywhere.
Where are you at?
Everywhere in Ohio to find it, and nobody had it. So
Well, let me tell you
I
something.
found that bottle. I went straight to the internet and.
Tell all your dealers, all they got to do is call us or call their distributor. Whatever distributor they buy through, they can get it. We sell U.S. and Canada, and man, we sponsor 142 television shows. That's on the Outdoor Channel, Sportsman's Channel, Pursuit Channel, and Wild TV. So everybody's hearing it, and this is just proof to the pudding. Listen, the difference is oxygen free. Oxygen free is what makes Top Secret totally different. Did you know that?
Yes, I have now got me my
Scent
daughter
Saver.
in Florida bought me the Scent Saver system
Yep,
this
yep.
year for my birthday.
There you go. Well, listen, seriously.
I've got that now, and the only thing that happened to me was I didn't have the Scent Saver system, and
Before.
the bottle got a little brown on me.
Yeah. That's the first thing I noticed when I saw one of the pictures.
Yeah. That was,
And actually, Tom, that's the first thing Tom said. Ooh, I bet he don't have a Scent Saver system.
yeah, well, I got one now.
Yep. And folks,
But I'm gonna have to get me a couple more of them, see, because I'll need one from the early season, and then
Yep.
in the Bad Boy Buck now.
well, now let me tell you, you don't have to
Now
buy.
I got the Scent Saver
but-
and the Bad Boy Buck.
Well, let me tell you, you don't have to buy another whole complete thing. If you're watching, I don't know if you can see the screen, but if you can't see the screen, you can see it later. I'm holding up just the bottle and the plug. You can actually buy just another bottle and another plug because you don't need another pump because that pump will fit all the bottles.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me a whole system. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm
Okay.
gonna get me a bottle for everything. From now on, that's the way it's gonna be. See, I was using a local guy makes some down here, and he sells a lot that goes down south. And last year, I'm gonna tell you right now, last year I didn't have a bit of luck with him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, what you got is you got blended urine, and you got ammoniated urine.
He collects them in a stainless steel trough system.
Yeah, yes. Everybody tries to get a whole. Listen, I bottled your urine as much as you can bottle in 30 years, and you know it's either a blend of urine, or it's single urine, or it's single urine no oxygen. And Top Secret changes. You know, they've heard us say this 1,000 times, and this is the example you give to all of your friends. Tomorrow morning, get you a clear jar, and you urinate in it. Tomorrow morning, you need to do this and call back in. I want somebody to do this and call back in. Let you be him. All right? Urinate. Get you a jar tomorrow morning, urinate in it. All urine voided when voided is sterile. It doesn't matter if it's a man, woman, dog, cat, giraffe, elephant. All urine voided is sterile. Once it hits oxygen, it starts breaking down. So tomorrow morning, you fill a jar up, set it down, clear yellow. Now I want you to watch your urine in the course of the day. It's going to go from a clear yellow natural smell, it's going to go from that to that brown that you had sitting there. And the only variable to that urine is oxygen. Dark urine says that you were there. You were there this morning, but you're not there now. Dark urine says a deer was there. Top Secret's clear yellow urine, oxygen-free, says the deer is there now. That's the difference. In other words, give you an example. If take the same buck and you put a blended dark urine out there, he ain't going to come in that mad.
No.
He was mad because he could tell that whoever it was there then. The urgency was then. That's the reason he ain't bristling up and walking around for 3 days bristled up. He only bristles like a dog just at that serious moment. So the intensity said you were there then. That's what Top Secret does. It brings the intensity to the animal to the moment and says the urgency is now to come in because you're there now. It's a game changer.
I think the wind had a little bit of favor on me that morning too, because it was blowing directly into the clear cut right there. Right dead into the bedding zone.
Yeah, well, you want to hunt the wind, obviously.
Right around through there, about 40 yards from the edge of it, and right along the top of the ridge, and then I go right to my stand about another 150 yards, and by the time I got to my stand, he'd already been up on me. I heard something in the clear cut moving around, but
yeah.
By the time I got to my stand, like I said, he was coming through the edge of the.
Did he only do the grunts?
He wasn't making no noise. That's what I didn't understand, because I didn't hear him sneak up behind me that close.
Did he only do the grunt, snort, wheeze coming up? Once you saw him, he didn't do that anymore?
No, he didn't. I didn't have a chance. I didn't give him a chance to get away, because once I seen him right there, and I seen him, he took one step, and he had real stiff leg, and
Yep.
kind of stomped it in the ground there, and turned and looked at me, and the hair stood up on his back, and I let him have it.
Well, give you an example. The reason I say that, most bucks, they're not. If he can see you, he's not. More times than not, he's not doing a grunt, snort, wheeze if he can see another buck. He's doing it in advance of seeing him because he's telling him, "Hey, I'm gonna kick your butt.
I'm coming, yeah.
I'm gonna." It's more of an aggressive challenge is actually what it is. So he's not challenging you, although now he's close enough to where you can see it like a big gobbler. A gobbler, turkey. He wants to be seen, and a gobbler's he's gonna strut in an opening where the hen can see him. So most of the time you're gonna hear that grunt, snort, wheeze prior to you seeing him.
But we never seen that deer. Maybe a handful of times over 5 years in the daytime.
Well, listen, we're glad.
When we was out cutting timber.
Well, yeah. Well, we're glad to be part of that success, and we appreciate you coming in. And listen, do not do what? What is it you're not?
Do not put that on you and walk around. It is very dangerous. I used to do it all the time when I was
I know it.
with another brand.
Dude, I know it.
There, and
Pay attention.
It was pretty treacherous there at one time.
I know it. And listen, hey, experience is a wonderful thing. And all you old boys out there thinking I want that sucker to chase me, no, you don't. And you don't have to.
Before you know it, I'm telling you right now. If you ain't ready for it,
they'll close ranks quick on it, man.
A good chance of getting hurt.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, he flipped the light bulb on, dude, and he smelled those spice cologne. He's all about kicking somebody's butt, and it was going to be.
He wasn't happy.
He was going to be your butt. Well, listen, tell your friends about it. You still got plenty of time to hunt. Send us some pictures and tell all your friends up there. Tell all your dealers, hey, man, order this stuff in here. I'm seeing it all on all the television stations. And tell them if the dealer don't know how to get it, all you got to do is tell them to call us, or they can call their distributor they buy through, and they can get it. Because we're fixing to, in about 4 weeks, introduce what we're going to be selling for 2016.
Well, I'll be ready then.
We got some.
Right now.
We got.
I've already told everybody that I'll never buy it again from anybody but Portland Outdoors, and that's where it's coming from.
There you go, dog. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, listen, man. We appreciate you calling in, and don't put it on you.
Yeah, please don't. Unless you're up in the tree stand, you want to sprinkle around your feet up there, that'd be okay. But don't walk around with it, because he'll come after you.
All right, man. Listen. Hey, stay safe. That's good.
You too, Don.
Good stuff.
I appreciate you.
Hey, man, we appreciate it. Thank you for calling in.
I really appreciate it.
You bet, man. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, you have a good
All right. All right, folks, listen, you think we're kidding with this stuff. I mean, we tell you, we're not just trying to sell you something. We're trying to tell you, don't. There's a reason. Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success.
All righty, folks, we're back. Like I say, you can't make this stuff. You can't make this stuff up. Folks, listen. A deer, ears, eyes, nose. Most of the greatest defense, is everybody, all hunters know, is the nose. The most aggressive sound a deer will make is a grunt, snort, wheeze. And when you put estrus with Old Spice, he just loses his mind. The best chance to kill a big buck anywhere in North America is a territorial infringement. When a buck comes into estrus, he's just as goofy as a $3 bill. You put buck urine in the scenario, dude, he's lost his mind. At that point, somebody's butt's fixing to get kicked. So at that point, he just throws all tendencies out reserve. He's throwing all caution. He's coming in. The best chance to kill you one. All right, I think we got us another caller. All righty, you got Don Bell. Who are we talking to? Yes, sir. Got Don Bell.
Hey, Don.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Man, that's doing good. What part of the world are you from?
I'm from Appleton, Wisconsin.
Really? Hey, you know where Oliva is?
No, I do not.
Really? Buffalo County?
Yes, I do. That is about 3.5 hours straight west of where I'm at.
Are you up near Stevens Point?
It's about 45 minutes northwest of me.
Okay, yeah. We used to have a distributor up there in Stevens Point, but we'd hunt there. And of course, I ain't got to tell you, Buffalo County is a great place to hunt. And I mean, what's crazy about all these, there's a bunch of states coming on great. I still tell people, with all the big record bucks being killed, go to the record book and see how Buffalo County, Wisconsin still holds. It is amazing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of big deer out there.
That's the blackest dirt. It's as black as my shirt. Of course, of course, it's dairy country, and you think, hello. I mean, that's the blackest dirt in the world. Well, look, we're glad to have you on, Jerry. What kind of question you got?
I actually got kind of a two-part question for you.
All right, put it on me.
I was wondering, for what phase of the rut would be good for a double doe and a buck decoy setup?
Well, you're on the. What season are you? Are you in black powder now?
Yes, we're currently in muzzleloader.
All right. What's the last day you can hunt up there?
The last day that we can hunt up here is January 3rd.
Are you? In other words, you're gonna ride muzzleloader right out of season, right?
No.
What else is gonna come out, and what else is coming back in?
We got muzzleloader for this weekend yet, and then we have a 4-day doe-only antlerless T-zone hunt, and then right around, I'd say about a week or so before Christmas, it falls back into late season archery.
Okay, all right. And now, so your question is, what part of this this process is the question related to? Muzzle, I mean, the setup is similar, but it does have some nuances to it there, Chris. Whether or not you're bow hunting or muzzle loading, you know what I'm saying? So which one are you doing?
Pretty much my question is more towards, it's more bow hunting, and I'd say the first 2 weeks in November.
Okay, yeah. I got you. Yeah, you're looking for
right around our peak rut.
Yeah. You think so? Your question is not what's left in season. Your question is, hey, 2 weeks ago, what would have been a good setup? And the answer to that is because you're in the peak of the rut, and so at that point, have you been hunting any primary scrapes?
At that point, I was hunting a couple primary scrapes, and that was right in between a transition area between bedding and food source.
All right. Are you hunting any fields, hardwood?
Mainly hardwood ridges, and it bumps up to CRP fields.
All right. Alfalfa fields?
No.
Okay. All right. Setup. I mean, if you can use a decoy, man. Of course, if you listen to this show, I preach constantly. If I had to choose between estrus or buck, which you don't have to choose, but if I had, I'd use buck urine. If I had to choose between a buck decoy and a doe decoy, I'd use a buck decoy. And that flies right, that shocks people when I tell them that. But here's the thing, buck urine, when you use buck urine the open day of bow season in Wisconsin, the open day of bow season, bucks are, they're out of velvet, majority of them, if not all, and they're in rut, but they're in pre-rut. Now, you put a buck decoy out there and put buck urine on it, any buck that smells it's going to come in, because bucks are in bachelor groups. They're not mad. They just want to come see who the new kid on the block is. Well, heck, you don't care. You just want to shoot him. Now, if you put a doe decoy out there in pre-rut, it's not that he won't come to it, but they're in bachelor groups. What most people think the rut is centered around the doe, and that's not true, because most people think the rut is when a buck is chasing a doe, right? But when have you ever seen a buck chase a doe?
Oh, yes.
All right. If tomorrow when you go to work, you ask 10 hunters, I guarantee you 8, 9 out of 10 will tell you if they see a buck chasing a doe that doe's in what? Estrus.
They think that doe's in heat.
That's right, but she's not. And I know that sounds crazy, but the reason the word estrus means an animal will stand and not run. Mm-hmm. The reason that doe is running is because she's coming into estrus. The buck can sense she's coming in, and the reason she's running is she don't want to be fooled with. There's a distinction between coming in and being in. The rut is broken into 3 periods, pre, peak, and post. Thus the premise of your question. You're talking about the peak of the rut. That's when the majority of the does in Wisconsin, really anywhere in the Midwest, are standing. And believe it or not, Jeremy, how big a piece of property do you hunt?
It varies anywhere from, I mainly hunt public land.
Okay.
I don't have the access to private.
But
so
hey, that's okay.
The chunk is probably about 40 acres, and the biggest chunk is, I think, just a hair over 5,000 acres.
Oh, yeah, listen, man, you got plenty of property to hunt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you go north and you get into smaller wood blocks up there, and you can kill some big deer. I mean, there's some big deer being killed in town all over the country. A whitetail is a very adaptive animal. I mean, they'll live in between houses. So, but having said that, so you got pre-peak and post. And to answer your question, you're specifically during the peak when the majority of the does are standing, all right? So there's plenty of deer to go around. There's plenty of does to be serviced because that's when the majority of them are standing. So you want to get high. I'm still hunting my scrapes, my rubs, what I call a primary scrape or, what I call actually a master bedroom is referred to as a primary scrape, but I get high where I can see. Now let's talk about your decoys. The reason I put the buck decoy out there is that during the peak and you put buck urine on it, I still put estrus, but if you put buck urine on that buck decoy, did you hear the caller that called in just before us?
Yes, I did.
All right, that's my point. Now, what you're doing is you're giving a visual. So, do you use a grunt call?
Yes, I do.
Do you have much success with it?
Yes, this year I called in during my almost 3-week vacation. I called in probably about a half a dozen bucks.
Really?
Called in a couple of those, and I shot a pretty nice size 7-pointer.
Did you, are the majority of them coming downwind from you?
Some of them are coming downwind, but majority of them are actually coming from upwind of me.
Yeah, and you know, you guys are I'm trying to think how I can explain to the viewers that, you know, in Wisconsin, it's not hilly, but it's hilly, and so
right.
you know you got wind. It's not, there is no true downwind. You know, can be true downwind, but you got the swirling factor going on up there too. But
Yep.
your grunting, all grunting does is puts the deer downwind. It says, hey,
Mm-hmm.
and so now you need to use buck urine. Have you used any buck urine this year? What kind of scent do you use? Or
actually, this year I tried out. It was a company called J&S Scents. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried them. I was actually looking for your guys' product, but the Cabela's that's up in Green Bay, that's the closest to me, they didn't have any in stock.
Yep. Because we had end caps in all the Cabela stores. And so, but I mean, listen, we sponsor 142 television shows, so when it comes in, it sucks out. In fact, we got an order today for Cabela's trying to keep it in. So, the difference is ours is oxygen free, and so it says that a deer is there now versus there was one there. Ours is single urine, no oxygen. So, big difference in it. The urgency is, and of course you heard me tell the other caller, it'd be like urinating in a jar, setting it down. Should be a clear yellow. And then you check it at the end of the day, your urine that started as a clear yellow, which is a natural process, is now a brown. And the difference is oxygen. Dark urine says the deer was there. Now if you're gonna go get up in a tree like you're talking about there and put decoys out, you want the deer to know you're there now.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you were there yesterday. There's a difference.
Or earlier this morning.
That's
I want
right.
you there right now.
So, do you use a buck and a doe decoy?
I've never used a buck and a doe decoy. I was thinking about it.
Well,
this year was the first year that I used a decoy. I put out a doe decoy, and that's actually how I shot my buck. That got his attention coming in, so I was thinking of how aggressive that he was coming in, that I wonder if a buck and a doe combo decoy would actually be pretty effective.
well, anytime you can give visual, ears, eyes, nose, 3 defenses, ears, eyes, nose. First thing, you grunt. Hey, you're telling him another buck's 10 and a doe. He goes downwind. The reason he goes downwind, he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. I'm downwind. I'm at buck, and I go, yep, that sucker's up there. Now then, so you have whipped 2 defenses. First the ear, grunting, rattling. I'm downwind. That's basically all it does. Puts me downwind. Okay, I smell buck urine. All right, now I've confirmed my nose. I'm starting to come in. Now then, I'm looking for the third thing. Now this is where the decoy comes in. If he had any hesitation, he is now seeing what he confirmed with his nose, what he heard. So it's that last visual, especially if you're bow hunting. And that's the reason I preference the question, are you gun hunting? Because your question was specifically how to position. Well, where in the distance is whether which way you're hunting.
Right.
But I tell you the truth, you're going to be just as successful without having to carry the doe in if you take the buck in. And if you want to have some fun with it, take one side of the horns off of the decoy. Don't go in with a full set of horns. Take one side completely off. And put buck urine on his butt. Now think about that. Why would you do that? If I'm a buck, if you're a buck and you come downwind and you come up and you see another buck with half his rack gone, what does that tell you? It tells you that
he's somewhat aggressive.
somebody's done kicked his butt. I mean, he's a fighter, but somebody's done got the best of his butt. Now then, a buck's like a man, you know, it's the pack mentality. You know, when one dog jumps on another dog, everybody wants to jump on him. That buck's going to think, I want to get a piece of him. Watch this. So he's more likely to come in and try to kick his butt. See? A big buck's coming in regardless. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter.
Oh, yeah.
And the grunt call, so I'd take me a buck decoy in. Of course, you can always take the antlers off when you got the doe. But
right.
take your buck decoy in, take one side off and grunt. Do what you're doing, but use a buck decoy. And of course, you know, whatever distance you feel comfortable shooting. But bring the tail down on the decoy. Just put it down and have one side completely off. And load him up. Now, if you really want to have some fun, do you carry a camera with you? Any kind of camera when you're hunting?
Okay.
I mean, if you do that, I thought I'd lost you. If you want to have some fun, get you some estrus and put it on that buck decoy. That buck decoy. Now you'll get some strange
put
look.
Both of them, or just put
No,
just the estrus on
no,
there?
no. What I'm telling you, if you know, let's say you've already killed your buck and you want to have some fun. Sure enough, and you want to have some fun, and you want to film this. You get that buck decoy and you put estrus on his butt, and you watch that buck come into that decoy. He'll circle that sucker and he'll look around. You can see him. I don't know if you can see me right now, but he'll come in and can't you imagine? He's come in thinking, oh boy, I smell her. And he comes in and gets to looking around. He'll get pure sheepish look on his face like, dude, something ain't right. But he'll sit there long enough to finally he'll start looking around, seeing if anybody's watching. I mean, that nose is gonna win out. It'll confuse the fool out of him. He's got one side of horns on him. But if you put that estrus on his butt, it's the craziest thing you ever seen in your life. But what you're doing is, now I'm playing head games with him. I'm saying after you've killed what you want to do. But to do what you're talking about, put that buck decoy in there and put the buck urine on him and grunt. You'll send us a picture of it.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Well, hey, listen, you're in a great part of the world up there to hunt. Are you born and reared up there?
Yes, I was actually.
It's a great place to hunt. And big deer to boot. So, kill some. How many bucks can you kill?
For archery, we can only kill one. We can get 2 bucks a year, and then we can get one with the bow and then one with the gun, and then however many. We have a boatload of.
So total bucks for a year, you can kill how many total bucks?
What's that?
How many deer can you kill? How many bucks can you legally kill in Wisconsin in a season if you hunted the whole season? How many total
can you hunted the whole season, you could kill 2 bucks a year.
Okay, yeah. See, in Alabama we can kill 3, and that just started about 4 years ago. Up to then, prior to that, we could legally kill 246 deer a year.
Oh, jeez.
You could kill a buck and 2 does a day. And there's a lot of Alabamians ain't got that email yet that went into play. That went in place 3 years ago. And of course, we got more deer per square mile anywhere in America. So we got a lot of deer. You're Wisconsin, so you're what, about it's about 700,000 hunters, 750,000 hunters there. We don't have but 228,000 hunters in Alabama. So a little bit of difference, but we got a lot of deer. So it's like hogs and rabbits. You can't get ahead of them. Well, listen,
exactly.
Jeremy, we appreciate you calling in, man. Is it cold up there tonight?
It's actually not too bad. It's about, I'd say in the low 40s, upper 30s. It's pretty comfortable, really. For
yeah, listen. We're down here in Pensacola, Florida tonight. We're about, how far from the beach? The Gulf? 3 miles?
Oh, that must be nice.
We're 3 miles from the Gulf, but it's kind of nippy out there tonight. But hey, take advantage of that cold weather. You know how and guys, and Jeremy, we're fixing to get out of this segment, but you know how post-rut, the tail end of the season, how they'll start yarding up on the backside of those ridges up there. Of course, that's where you're going to find your sheds anyway. So these bucks will start getting back into bachelor groups together as the post-rut winds down, and those does that didn't get bred comes back into estrus and recycles, but then it'll just start getting back into that routine. So start paying attention to that up there too.
Okay, awesome.
All right, man. Listen, Jerry, appreciate you calling in. Tell everybody about Top Secret, and call back.
All right, I will. Thanks a lot.
Hey, man. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, sir. All right, bye-bye.
All right, no problem.
All right, man.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. All righty, let's see. They're holding me a little sign up. We're going to go to question and answer. All right, let's take a couple quick questions here. Big Mike from Bossier City, Louisiana, he's asking, let's see, guys, this is a website question. Mike wants to know, he's saying that he's used Hot Mama in the 3-ounce with great success this season already. Now, this season, and of course he's from Louisiana, he said he's taken a nice 9-point that could have been a 12 if he hadn't had some points broken off. So chances are that buck has already been in a fight, sparring around. And let me tell you something, if he would have been a 12, that's a decent buck. And you go, oh Lord, somebody's broke the tines off. No, that means there's a bigger buck there that's kicked his butt and has been more aggressive to fight that buck. So that means even though you've killed that one, Mike, there's another one there in the same area that's bigger and badder than the one you just killed. So here's his question. He wants to know what the proper procedure is to preserving the remaining part of his urine. That's no problem. Mike, you want to do just like you've heard the callers here tonight say, the first one is get you a scent saver system. And of course, we all in there, Chris, the scent saver system. And guys, listen, you can get this at any of the retailers. Of course, you can go to topsecretdeerscent.com. This is a one-time purchase. Folks, every bottle of Top Secret is oxygen-free from collection of the bottle. It cannot go bad. Once you open the bad boy, it's going to change color on you because you've put oxygen back in. This is designed, a one-time purchase. It'll last you for years. This will take the oxygen back out. You simply pour it in, plug it, pump it out in between using it. No oxygen. Listen, you're taking the oxygen out. So, Big Mike, get you a scent saver system. You'll be able to save the urine you've got. You'll be able to use it all the way down, still be yellow, still be oxygen free. Says the deer's there now. So Big Mike, get you a scent saver system, and it'll last you for years. Let's see, I believe we got a caller in, guys. I believe we do. All right, you got Don Bell. Who we got?
This is Bart.
Big Bart. Mr. Bart, what part of Kentucky are you in?
Bullock County.
Which county?
Up in the junction. Bullock.
Bullock. You east or west of 65?
Runs right through the middle.
All right.
I'm on the east side of it.
You're just on the east side. Well, of course, I ain't got to tell you, in the past 5-6 years, that triangle between WK Parkway, Green River, and I-65, and just east of 65, that block through there, there's some mooses coming out of there. I mean, there's some big deer. And fortunately or unfortunately, there's a bunch of people finding out about it. So Kentucky is the new hot spot. Are you from?
Yeah, it's been looking that way.
Are you from there originally?
Yeah.
All right. Man, that's a good place to hunt. I went to school in Louisville, and we come down, you know where Central City is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we hunted Peabody Coal Company, Muhlenberg County, Christian, Ballard County, all through there. And
yeah, a buddy of mine took a 12-pointer off Peabody this year.
Yeah, listen, people, I hung a stand. I could see people's eyes coming down WK, the Parkway, and I was on reclaimed land, and I got a twin brother, and he was at a church there in First Baptist Church, Central City, Kentucky. And you ever seen the Andy Griffith show where they got Barney had the keys, the big thing of keys? They had it, and we could go hunt behind the gates on all the reclaimed land that Peabody had. And dude, man, it was just unbelievable hunting. Great stuff. Well, what kind of question you got for us tonight?
I was just
kind of curious about I didn't see too many big bucks while I was hunting. Seeing a lot of small bucks. So is that indication that? And I didn't see too many does.
Well,
I didn't have cameras out or anything. Really seen what was out there, but I was just kind of curious. Is that a good sign or bad sign? Or
well, are you hunting right now? In other words,
No,
and I don't mean right this
well,
second.
I mean,
What I mean is, are you
I
still?
hunted last Friday.
Oh, that's what I mean. So you're still, so up till right now, you're not seeing a bunch of bucks, or are you just now in the past couple of weeks not seeing them?
Well, I guess pre-rut I was seeing a bunch of small bucks,
Okay.
and once gun season came in, I'd
Well, yeah, gun season's
see too many.
yeah, gun season. Once you put pressure on a big, older, mature bucks, you're gonna start making them. They're not all gonna go nocturnal, but you're gonna start seeing less activity till you get to the dead peak of the rut. Of course, then they're running skirts everywhere. So they're running does. So, and of course you're already past your peak rut there. You're on the tail side, the back side of the mountain on it. Still good hunting. You still got a lot of good hunting left up there. When does your season absolutely go out?
Archery goes up mid-January.
Yeah. Because what's going to happen, of course, during the peak of the rut, there's does everywhere. But those does that didn't get bred is going to recycle and come back in. Do you use any kind of deer scent?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, now listen to me. Of course, are you familiar with Top Secret?
Yeah, I've bought your product.
Okay, well, let me tell you. Deer urinate 365 days a year. They're doing it right now on the piece of property that you hunt. They're urinating. It's a God-given way of communication. It's not just for deer, it's for all animals. And so what you want to do is to have scent urine that first time you put it out is fresh. It says the deer's there now versus he was there. Just common sense says that. And Top Secret does that. It's single urine, no oxygen. It's a real game changer. But having said that, you want to start using right now, you can use two products right now. You want to use buck urine every day of the hunting season. Literally, if you could hunt every day in Kentucky, you want to hunt buck urine. Because bucks are in bachelor groups. See, any buck's going to come to it, little buck, big buck. Right? They're not coming to be mad in pre-rut, the opening day of bow season. Where you said you just seen all the little bucks. Any of them would come to it. Well, they're not mad. They just want to see who the new kid on the block is. Well, you don't care why he's coming. You just want to shoot him. Now, use the same buck urine and the same buck that smelt it in pre-rut that smells it just before the peak of the rut. Now he's mad because he's smelling Old Spice cologne because he's smelling it in his master bedroom, which is the primary scrape. Do you use a grunt call?
Yeah.
You have much success with it? Hit and miss?
If I see one, it usually brings them closer.
Right.
But as far as just blind grunting, usually doesn't bring much in.
Well, let me tell you, grunting, as you heard us say the other callers, grunting basically puts the deer downwind. And it doesn't matter, and if you buy a grunt call tomorrow and you go in a sporting goods store, just it's almost hilarious to look at the names on these grunt calls. And what's the name of the grunt calls? Big Buck, Big Daddy, Master Buck, Dominant Buck. Have you ever seen a grunt call that says baby boy, little man, tiny? No, it's all about the big buck. It doesn't matter. Look, are you married?
Yeah.
Let's say you're at a football game tonight and you go home and you walk in and you smell Old Spice cologne and you flip that light on. Do you give a rat's butt if you found Pee Wee Herman a Superman? It'd break my heart if I found Pee Wee Herman. It wouldn't matter what age. It's not who but where. Does that make sense? So when you get up and you use a grunt call, you need to be using buck urine. Because buck urine the call puts him downwind. And the reason he's going downwind, he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. Once he confirms what he's hearing with his nose, he'll come in. But if he don't have any buck urine, the nose is going to override his ears, and he won't come in. He'll lock up, and then people say, well, grunting don't work. So, especially if you got a hesitation on a buck coming in, could you hear the first two callers?
No, I was playing.
We got a boy. Guys, where was the first one from? Ohio, and he put some buck urine and stuff on a suit and his pants and stuff, and he shot one at 40 yards, dead coming to him, ears back, hair stood up like a dog, bristled, and had done a grunt, snort, wheeze, which is the most aggressive sound a buck will make. It's like coming home smelling Old Spice cologne. And I mean, I do more seminars than anybody in this industry, and I have yet, in 30 years, yet to find a man that will tell me that if you come home and you smell Old Spice cologne, that you flip that light on, that you got enough wherewithal about you, you go, gee, guys, this ain't nice. What do you say we go downstairs, put on a pot of coffee, and let's talk about it? Dude, we're talking about a Glock. You know, I mean, it's just instant reaction. You're not thinking, right? That's the same way to a buck. Estrus is coming home smelling and flipping the light on. You goofy as a $3 bill. You'd happy as a little kid, right? No, you come home to Old Spice cologne, now it's a whole different, two different dimensions. So get you some scent. Use buck urine every day of the year. But let's get back to the tail end of your question. There will be periods. I think your direct question is, early you saw more little bucks, not big bucks, right?
Yeah.
All right. And you haven't been, you just been putting your eyeballs on them because you're not putting cameras on them, right? So you're just seeing what you're seeing. And that was all the way through peak of the rut too?
Well, actually, peak of the rut, I was probably hunting a different property.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay.
I seen a buck. I hunted last Friday, and I was probably the tail end of the rut, or possibly the peak. They're kind of weird around here this year, it seemed like. But
well, they can listen.
Seeing them buck running the two does, or one of the two does. But
yeah. Well, up there.
It was a mature buck. But,
yeah. You know, in the peak of the rut, there's does everywhere. There's plenty to go around. You want to fight, hey, dude, wait a minute. You know, hey, you take that and I'll take these 10. The peak is just that. That's when the majority of the does are standing. There is a time in which, believe it or not, Jeremy, Bart, that the deer on the majority of the does on the piece of property that you hunt are standing. They call that the peak, which is just that. That's when the majority of the does are standing. Then those that didn't get bred will recycle and come back in, and that's where you are right now. Now here's the key to that. You can be aggressive now on bucks. Buck decoys, buck urine, grunting, even, you know, and it's a certain way, some places up there, you can still rattle, but you don't even have to rattle hard. You can just use the tines together and it'll do the same thing. But why? Especially, believe it or not, grunting and I don't want to say rattle, but do you do much rattling there?
I've tried it. I've never had any
All right,
success
you got to use buck urine. And here's why I'm telling you it's more effective then. The best time to rattle, and again, I preference this, is that you don't have to clang them. It doesn't have to be a big set of buck horns. Just like the grunt doesn't have to be a big sounding grunt. Hell, it doesn't matter if it's a teenager or a grown man. It's not who but where they are. When they are is what makes you mad. You understand? So, so you know, you can smell Old Spice cologne tomorrow at noon at Walmart, and a man walks by, you're not going to knock him upside the head. I'll watch you on Fox News tomorrow night. But let your butt go home tomorrow night and 8 hours later and smell it. Oh, now you've been out of shape. Dude, it's the same smell. It's not what you smell, but when and where you smell it. That's the intensity. So get you some buck urine, grunt, and you can do it all the way through the end of the season. Can you use a decoy there?
Yeah.
If you got a decoy, you know, take one side.
No, I don't have one.
Well, you can, if you got one and get one, take one side of the horns off, put that bad boy out there and load his butt up with buck urine, grunt, take those tines. And because there's less does now, there's competition. Most people think to rattle when peak of the rut. That's when it's less effective because, hell, who wants to fight? They're everywhere. Best time to rattle is just before the peak because there's less in, so there's competition. Post-rut, because those that didn't get breds come back in, there's not many of them, so it's competition again. You know? So hang in there, man. You're in a great part of the state. In the next few years, if you can keep the out-of-staters like us out of there, you're going to have some fine deer.
Yeah, I got a 22-inch wide deer hanging on the wall.
There you are.
From there a couple years ago.
Well,
they're out there.
Does Peabody come across 65? I never hunted east of the 65 there on Peabody. Everything seems like Peabody's west.
Yeah, Peabody's way further west.
Yeah.
65.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, man, hang in there. You still got plenty of season, and there's competition for them now because there's less does in right now. So, and you'll trail that all the way to the end of the season. You can use buck urine and estrus all the way to the end of the season. You use buck urine every day, but once you start using estrus, never quit using the buck urine all the way to the last day of hunting season. Go out there and kill us a buck and send us a photograph, man.
All righty.
Hey, man, listen, we appreciate you calling in, Bart. Tell everybody about it, and then we're here every Thursday night, 52 weeks a year, man.
All right, sounds good, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you for calling in. Thanks, Bart. Bye-bye.
All
right, bye-bye. All right, folks, an hour's gone. Hey, it's amazing the hour goes by quick. Folks, listen, it's Thursday night. It's Hunting the Rut Hotline. You got questions, we got some answers, and we'll see you next Thursday night right here, 7 o'clock Central Time. See you next week.